premium store operators. Stories on page 31. Northeast governors unite to end out of school children insurgency. Also, I have here reps leads victims of attack Plateau communities with 100 million naira. Records on Tinubu not ready, says FBI and DEA. Stories on page 6. Okay, still on the nation, we have Minister ICPC opens probe into student loan violations. Okay, we have here Edo raises minimum wage from 70,000 to 75,000. My good. God, that's good.
Yeah.
Ebonyi gives workers 10,000 naira May-Day reward.
Okay.
Wow. Abia, we've paid 30 billion naira to their inherited salaries and pensions. We paid 30 billion naira to clear inherited salaries and pensions.
That's a good thing.
Wow. This is something this is
Abia
something.
been crying for so long.
And wow.
Indebted to workers for so long. So yes, that's good news for them.
It's a nice one now. It's a nice one. Okay, that's nice. Now let's move on to this day. This day we have a bold line here. In May Day speech, Tinubu pledges to address high living costs, fight corruption. This corruption fight is a continuation of every president that comes in.
There's always something to fight.
The fight never gets to an end though. It continues, you know.
There's always something.
Okay.
So it makes you feel active. I don't know.
Okay, recommits to workers' welfare, says they are engine of nation's economy, secret to her growth. First Lady declares workers' nation's backbone. First Lady declares workers' nation's backbone. Okay. Governors Barra, Abbas, others hail workers as labor seeks fresh salary adjustments. I like that part. Oil post steepest monthly fall since 2021. Dangote says okay with Trump's tariff. Wow, Dangote is okay. Okay, Nigeria risk perpetual economic stagnation without reliable power. Additional ones calls for bold reforms in infrastructure, industrialization, governance. Sawolu celebrates Workers' Day. Now take a look at this picture here. See the joy on their faces. You know that joy when you are receiving a minimum wage of
government is active.
Yeah.
No quietness anywhere, and it's a good thing. If workers are looking this happy, I don't think Nigerians will actually be complaining
of going to work.
Nah.
Just imagine when you're having this minimum wages but then again Lagos is like a big city that not big as in size, but their revenue. Do you know how much they generate a month?
Well,
So the 100,000 is even small. Sorry.
Because you might be offending some court and saying that. Some persons are yet to see 70. Okay. So looking at the Nigerian Tribune now, we have FG summons VCs as ICPC probes student loan disbursement. ICPC says NEL fund disbursed only 44.2 billion naira out of 203.8 billion naira received to 293,178 students in 299 institutions. NEL fund reacts. I think you would want to see that story, so check page 5 of Nigerian Tribune. So May Day, Labour rejects tax reform bills, wants retirement age to be 65 years. Governors, others hail workers on celebration. We have Nigerians react to new SMS transaction fee amid growing discontent over banking charges. I am not quitting PDP, Adeleke tells Osun stakeholders forum. You see that on page 5. On page 24, you see Phase 1 Lagos-Calabar Coastal Highway 70% completed. Delivery January 2026. I guess I could say that's some progress there.
Okay.
70%.
Yeah. It's a lot of progress.
National
70.
Political Summit, MPSG inaugurates Daniel Tambowa Awolowo Dosumu orders as coordinating committee members. That's on page 2 of the Nigerian Tribune. That's what the Guardian newspaper has to say this morning. Tinubu Labour clash on economy as NLC TUC push workers' demand. That's on page 6. Tinubu Labour clash on economy as NLC TUC push workers' demands. Catholic priests protest kidnapping of 47 members, killing 2. Catholic priests protest kidnapping of 47 members, killing 2. How negligence, poor maintenance culture made Nigeria one stadium nation. Oh, wow. How negligence, poor maintenance culture made Nigeria one stadium nation. Attack on electricity workers by military personnel not accepted.
Again.
Attack on electricity workers by military personnel not accepted. Federal government probes student loan disbursement as NEL fund welcomes scrutiny. Federal government probes student loan disbursement as NEL fund welcomes scrutiny. You mind taking the Vanguard newspaper?
You know, I love to do the. Okay, what we have here? Okay, cool. Let's look at Daily Times. Tinubu departs Abuja today for Castina. Tinubu departs Abuja today for Castina. Commission projects meet key stakeholders. Story is on page 2. Okay, we have a Mayday Tinubu Fubara IGP, page 9. Mayday Tinubu Fubara IGP. That means there was a meeting. First Lady Grace Ike Petro felicitate with workers with calls for improved conditions of service. Okay. We have here. Okay, this is what we're taking. Natasha replies, Agbakoba rules out withdrawal of suits against Akpabio. Stories on page 4. UK, Nigeria partner on rising fraud threats. Page 2. UK, Nigeria partner on rising fraud threats. Workers' welfare paramount in PDP, control states, governors. We always hear that, but does it really happen? Does it transcend to
the impact?
Yeah, is it implemented? Okay, on the Vanguard there, let's see. Now, there's a story I'm looking for that I've not seen. Mayday, hunger, unemployment, insecurity, real. Tinubu, that story is on page 5. We'll have your promise to address challenges, strengthen labor protections. Labor calls for an end to bloodletting, state tyranny, poverty wages, hands government 20-point demand, seek justice, pro-people, economic reform, democratic accountability. FG must recognize workers on key partners. Article. I know you must talk. I have FG moves to renegotiate global trade deals. That's the AFCFT. Defections. All corrupt public officials will face justice. Is it true? Are you being with EFCC? Okay. Ogidi begins Delta PDP revival. Okay. Sexual harassment saga. Natasha dabs Akpabio's lawyer in new letter. Page 8. PDP blames APC for workers' hardship, insecurity. They like the blame game all the time. Labour leaders, minister at May Day rally in Abuja. May Day rally in Port Harcourt, in Lagos. Okay. Governors, organized labor differ over hardship. Days of tributes. Clark was spokesperson for marginalized Nigerians, Daniel Talent, Ivan, others. And the sports, Flying Eagles begin with slim win over Tunisia. There's a story that is not reflecting this morning on the papers, that the federal government sacked 3 ministers, defense, state, and the nation, and labor. Not that 3 ministers. I don't know why it's not on the papers this morning. I went there to buy touchscreen laptop. I had to call the attention of one of the sales
I think you're on Mr. and Mrs. right now.
Yes.
Okay.
Mr. and Mrs. Now, Mr. is explaining without evidence. I went there to buy touchscreen laptop. I had to call the attention of one of the sales girls to help. Not by touching her. It's touch screen, not touch skin. If you want to buy a touch screen laptop or phone, it's touch screen, not touch skin. That's what Mrs. is telling Mr. If you know, you know. And that's how far for this paper this morning. But let's look at, what's your, which story is biting or kicking in your heart?
Well, yesterday we talked about May Day and how some states were yet to start implementing the new minimum wage.
Amma, we are saying 20 demands.
Some persons have, or some states rather, have started implementing, and yet we have a huge number which I get to do with that. If you look at Governor Sanwo-Olu of Lagos State, you see from picture like the workers were kind of excited. The excitement, the joy in the air of celebrating the internationally celebrated May Day. But I don't know how many states actually had that joy. How many workers actually felt that way? Because if we are considering this kind of joy in every state, I don't think we'll have a lot of Nigerians complaining. I don't think we'll have a lot of people talking the way they talk. Sometimes we hear people say before they get into government, they scrutinize the government, but once they get into the system, they are no longer talking.
They get used to it.
There is a tag or there is a peg on their shoulders or their feathers, and they can't seem to fly free the way they used to. I'm thinking that when we talk about the May Day celebration, it should be widely celebrated. It should be something that we are looking forward to. It should be something that you are so expectant.
Just like we look forward to Christmas.
Yes, I was about to say Christmas.
Yeah.
The same way you expect
preparation towards it. Yes.
Yes, that's what it's. But I was on the street yesterday. I didn't really notice in my part of town. In as much as I know there are places that were stuck up yesterday, holidays, family, and all of that. Well, if it's widely celebrated, the same way we make preparations for Christmas, I think it will make a huge difference in the way we see things.
That preparation comes from the fund. It's just like now, I try to zoom into the faces of these people in Lagos. Now, when the working environment, when you're working, you have a working environment that is suiting. You have what comes in that at the end of the day, you can say bad as a bad. Bad as a bad, you can take something out of it. I think going to work will not be not be like a burden. You say, look, I beg, I don't want to go. I'm tired, I don't want to go. You don't have a good working environment. You don't have a good package that comes with it. Then a little one that have been assigned or that have been agreed upon. Now we are seeing a governor of a state now adding on Mayday, adding to the initial wage.
That's a welcome development.
You get? Now that will give a lot of hope to the workers that, oh, he recognize or appreciate what we are doing.
And then we mentioned another state that gave 10,000.
Yes, and to every that day. Do you know what it means that in a state where you have like, but then again, I hope that 10,000 gets right. Because we have this habit of when you are at the hem of something and you're being given in bulk, you select. The rest goes into your pocket.
Is it just selection? Sometimes
Or
you take tax out of it.
Out of it.
You're taking tithe
Yes,
out of it.
okay.
As if it's your own.
It's 10,000. Give me something. I mean, go talk about. I mean, talk on our behalf. We'll talk on which behalf.
My share 7,000, 5,000 at the end of the day. So the rest, where does it go to?
But I think if the government was wise enough, that money should be paid into their accounts.
The same way they pay
Their salaries.
Yes.
So you just see and you're saying, Pim, Mayday. And that's
The
enough.
joy on your face.
Do you get
Expression.
that 10,000? We do you. Let's calculate what 10,000 can do for a family now. If you say we're not going to cook, this 10,000 is for celebration. Okay, let's go and buy meat pie is 1,000 or 800. And you have a family of 3 or 4. You can comfortably buy like 4 meat pie and then 4 or 5 bottles of soft drink. Now dash money now. Let's celebrate. You can do that and put smiles on your children's faces. These 20 demands, I wish I could get those demands details. Let's see what they're demanding. But I wonder, in the past administration, Labour were sleeping. They slept and overslept. Because some of this thing now, if they had started in the past 8 years, to it would have reduced.
Okay.
Probably, if they had fought this increase, this minimum wage from that 30 to 70, by now, this government did now, it would have gone higher before the review that is coming. I kind of looked at our Labour are kind of weak. Or let's say, did they buy them?
Well, I don't think so. If you say Labour has been sleeping and finally they are awake, it's a good thing. I hear people say anytime when you wake up, morning, right? So if they are finally awake and are willing, like we've seen them take some actions, willing to do the work, I think that's a welcome development. And we are looking further to more impact. We are looking further to see that we are not just demanding, but what we are demanding, we are getting. There is a fair ground for everyone to play on. There is room for growth. There is room for improvement. There is room for development. Because when we get to see a lot of these things and in the process, no one is following through. There is a system here we run in Nigeria in the sense that there are laws that are given, there are rules that are supposed to be followed by. But because nobody is looking out, is it actually being kept to?
That's what I said.
Are we following through?
We put policies and laws and all that. Sometimes implement them, but we don't follow up. There's no supervision. They say, look, we are going to build this house. Now, you said the budget to build this place is 10,000. Now, the budget is being implemented. Have been approved.
Yeah.
Is there someone, a committee that is set up? Because it's like we push and start. If they don't push, we will not go start. Is there a committee that is responsible to look at it? Have you done just like Omaye, the Minister for Works? The guy can actually get to his site. And if you're not doing the quotation you have given, and you're not doing according to what you ordered for, you're sacked right there and there. And that's it. Because you bring me a quotation. This is what I can use to do this. And say, look, I want to build this place with 10,000. and I give you 10,000. Now you know that there is a committee responsible to check up on you, making sure that you are doing the job. And when the committee comes and you are not doing PR, the person with the committee comes and look, we are doing the job. We are not looking for handout and giving us something to say, look, welcome, oh, take mods, take this one. No.
That's all. That's all of us actually
We see them do
contributing
the
to
job.
the corruption we are talking about.
Yes.
We think it's just the government. But in
No.
the little spheres we find ourselves, if only we can be true to ourselves and know that it's not only until you get 10 billion. Someone who can steal 100 naira
Can steal 10 billion.
10,000 can steal more than that. So it's all a gradual process. Even you as a contractor, you have given a quotation, it's been approved, and you don't follow through, you go back to buy substandard products to do the work and expect that in less than 3 to 6 months there is need for maintenance, there is need for renovation, and then why did you spend that kind of money? It's just like you who is maybe buying a particular product and in your mind, okay, this thing is expensive, it's supposed to carry me for this duration. And some of these products, let's say appliances, have a period of warranty, a warranty rather, that if you have issues during this period, you can bring it back and take something else, or we can work on
there
it. There's an agreement, a kind of agreement between you. But we don't see a lot of that in the government system. If the government will hold its contractors responsible, checkmate them, follow through, follow up on them, and ensure that this is what we paid for, this is what we are getting. If our government will do that, a lot of things will not go back.
Change.
And ensure that the people you are putting in those committees are people who have integrity, are people you can trust, are people who are worthy of that position. Because sometimes I see a lot of how do I put it now? Because I know you, familiarity. I'm trying to do this person a favor, but you know outrightly that this person cannot do the job. We see some of those appointments.
Of course.
Some persons are brought into offices and you know that this person
they're not qualified.
They don't qualify for these. And you see someone who is lesser, but you feel, because I know this person, I'm doing this person a favor. Please, whoever you're doing a favor should be able to follow through on whatever favor.
Because if you're doing that favor on, I keep using building, on a structure, and that person you're doing a favor who is not qualified brings a quotation, then the qualified person brings a quotation, and you're not looking and saying, okay, because I know you, let me give it to you. I know you're not qualified, you're not an engineer, you're not a civil engineer. Then you go and build a structure that, and after that building, I won't even carry out integrity tests to find out if it can carry. And in the next 6 months, that place collapses. Supposing you have your relative in that building, what do you now do? We should look above doing favors. Look for some. If you're not qualified and you're my person, and look for something else to give you or make you qualify. Okay, look, for you to attain this job, to
go
qualify, go get this training,
go do that.
That's just it. You have to qualify for it. I know you, yes, but you can't. It's like you putting someone who is not a surgeon in the theater to carry out a surgery on somebody because you know the person. Do you understand? You want to kill the patient. Because we've heard stories of quack doctors everywhere. Someone who just fall out, who maybe was dismissed from medical school, or who did not go through one thing or other, and then you know that this person did not scale through. But because you know the person, you employ that person.
And sometimes for cheap labor too. For
cheap labor, of course, now it's cheap labor. What are you expecting? I think the government, my part now, I bought a phone once and I had a warranty on the phone. And when the phone went bad, I took the phone.
During
it was LG. I took the phone to LG with my warranty phone. They took it from me. They gave me a phone to use while they sent my phone to Lagos, and they said at the social duration, if they are not able to fix that fault, they will give me something else. But for the time being, I needed to communicate with my family, they gave me another phone to use on depending when that phone return. That service. So if companies could do that, why can't our government do it? Why can't we do it? If the minister for works is doing it, I mean, carrying out that,
what happened to the
what happened to
ministries?
others? All the money. Now I like that, but I know, I'm sure, I saw the news. This ministers who were sacked by the president.
Yeah.
That a lot of killings recently, and it's like, defense, what are you doing? You guys ask for fund, you've been giving fund, and you're not doing that. Okay, go and rest. Let's look for those who are capable to run these ministries for us. That's what we're looking for. If Labour, like I said yesterday, look out for those states that said they are struggling, let us know where the struggle is coming from.
Yes.
Is it in a location? Is it? Let us know where you're struggling, because you agree to pay this money.
Yeah.
So what is stopping you from paying? And those who have not paid their arrears, also call them out, follow them up.
That's why I'm happy for Abia State, because it's been overdue. It's over
30
years,
billion
over years of being
naira.
indebted to someone. So I think that was some months back when they came in on the news again, and some persons been saying for like 3 years we've not been receiving salary. And in my head I'm like, how have you guys been coping exactly? How have you guys
That was
been
on the
managing?
previous government.
How have you guys been managing?
You can imagine. And that's why you see
That's
them, they people do a lot of business in
someone who has not seen a salary for 1 month, you know how it bites, especially when it's your only source of income.
You don't owe tire.
Then you extend it to 3 months, 6 months, 1 year. And
you expect the person to keep coming to work.
to come to work happily.
How?
Like you mentioned earlier, if the work environment is
It's conducive.
safe, conducive, and at the same time encouraging, I don't think anybody will wake up on a Monday morning.
I say I don't want to go to work. You feel reluctant.
Oh, it's Monday again.
Do you get?
I know a lot of people dread going back to work on Mondays. I've heard people say we wish the weekend can be extended.
Exactly.
Right? Because if you love your job,
You'll be
and
excited
you'll
to
be
resume.
excited, yes, to go back to work on a Monday.
The packages that
But
come,
we don't see
the
that.
fringe benefits, everything that comes with it.
Besides the payments, there is more to being an employee. There is more to managing an organization beyond just the payments. At some times when you are able to use the right words on your employees, you're able to, okay, this is what you benefit from doing this. There is healthy competition, there is room for growth. I don't think any person, I feel that in most cases people actually delve into side hustles because the job they do is not really giving them all they need.
Exactly.
It's not satisfying enough. So we have to look for another way. And in most cases,
satisfying is not even the word self. It's not economic friendly.
In most cases, it's not just the salary. There are benefits that your job is supposed to accrue to
And you don't get them.
and you're not getting them. Sometimes those promises are made, like some states have agreed to pay, and it's not coming through. What do you expect the workers to do? How do you expect them to continue to cope? How do you encourage them? Because it's someone who is encouraged that will feel the joy of doing better services, delivering their best at every point in time they are called.
Exactly.
So May Day yesterday was favorable to some and wasn't really favorable to some. And I hope that NLC will be able to walk in and interfere in those states that are yet to start paying. With all the good news some states are recording, someone is somewhere saying, I wish it's my governor doing that. I wish it was for my state. I wish it got to me. So we can stop doing the wishy-wishy thing and begin to enjoy what other counterparts of yours, your colleagues in all the states are also enjoying.
Okay, having said that, now let's take on another story. Jam. There's been a lot of mass boosts here and there. I talked about it the day before Jam started, and I kind of said I was not comfortable with the 6:30 because of the insecurity in some part of the nation. And then you're putting an exam by 6:30, which means I have to leave my house. No, depending on where I'm going, where the center is.
Yeah.
I have to leave my house 1 hour before time, 2 hours before time, or probably go to book a lodge closer to that place. There have been a lot of, aside from the fact that people still manage to impersonate. Now, this year's jam was such that I would have said it was difficult, but Jam said it that okay, this year was one of the best years they've had, as in writing exams.
Yeah.
But they arrested over 40 who were impersonating, and I'm wondering, what are you impersonating? Now your photo, my photo is on Jam side.
How did they get into?
Yeah, that is still boils down to corruption.
How did they get
Now
in?
you have a slip, a printer. A printout was given a day or 3 days before the exam.
Before you even know your center. The reprinting now is to know where you're writing.
Yes. Then you come with your slip. You have the whoever they check you.
Your passport is there.
They thumbprint. You do it fingerprint and pass before you enter the exam hall. So those guys who impersonated, how did they manage to get into the exam hall? Someone was in the exam hall. Like one of the centers, I talked to someone. She puts the expo inside her shoe and entered the exam hall, and they caught her, and right there and then she was
Go
home. Now that center now made it, if you get to the point to enter, take off your shoes, everybody, unless you're wearing slippers, they set under your foot before you enter. Do you get me now? This whole loss. We're talking about jam. The timing is my problem. The 6:30, like I said that day, I said, look, that 6:30 should be taken off because there have been records of someone was kidnapped, would be heard, turn out dead. Some people missed the exam. There were accidents, rushing that early because depending on where you're going to, you have to go early to get that place before that 6:30.
Yeah.
Then if you are in another local government, you have to go.
You must have traveled before then.
What if you don't have what it takes to lodge? So I'm thinking that JAM should consider starting by 8 or 9, so you can give people the time frame to travel from their homes close wherever. But 6:30, I think it's too early.
Well, from all you have said so far, it's important that the system, those responsible for it, should look into it. Because there is no magic. People would definitely miss exams. There is no magic to it.
And Jam said if you
there are
miss...
times where it's till the next year.
Yes.
You're done. There are times where you put an exam for, in the university, we have exams by 2 o'clock and somebody still misses it.
Yes.
We have exams by 8 o'clock and somebody still misses it. So what happens to those persons who are writing exams by 6:30? What happens to them?
And some student I think JAM should also do fact checking. Before you pick a center, double check if their computers are working well.
Yeah.
The internet system is accurate.
I think they had lower cases this year.
Yeah, they had lower, but some people think
last year.
yes.
I think they had lower cases this year. But considering timing, from all these are all, let's try this, let's see what works. So now you have seen how far this year went. By the time we come into 2026 for JAM again, we should see an improvement from what we have experienced in 2025. Because if the same thing is repeating next year, then there is no change.
And for the
you didn't learn anything.
And for those who are impersonating, I think that thing is coming from the officers who were admitting amongst them. So they should check that also. But so far, JAM said they did very well this year. So we are waiting the results. Okay. Okay, thank you so much. That's how far we can take on this segment of the program. But don't go away. We have other programs lined up for you today on this channel. So stay tuned as we do. It's a Friday. Just enjoy yourself while we keep you entertained, informed, and educated. I'm Beauty Benjamin.
And I'm Legit. Yeah. Good morning.